So I have a new figure here. This is the Composite Superman from Beast Kingdom. And when I saw this on Big Bad Toy Store, I jumped on it because I'm a big fan of the character. I love the look of it. He was created in the early to mid 19. Well, he was created in the early 1960s and had two Silver Age appearances. I got this for $95, and the reason I went for it so quickly was because I already had some items that were going to ship, and so I figured I would just bundle them together. And I messed up because I am a big bargain hunter, at least when it comes to figures. The less you spend on a figure, the more figures you can get, I suppose. And I went on Amazon later on after I got the figure, and it was $48. Because definitely when I got the figure, I was like, where's the $95 on this figure? Where's the money going to? Because it does not feel like a $95 figure. And I've had success. I've only have two other Beast Kingdom figures, but I liked both of them. I have the Peacemaker and King Shark, and those are pretty neat figures. And this is a fine figure. It's just not a $95 figure at all. It is apparently limited to 1,500 figures created, and I'm going to show a little bit more of that later. Basically, to people who don't know who the Composite Superman is, it's funny because on Wikipedia it lists him as kind of a combination of Batman and Superman, which is absolutely not what he is. Composite Superman was a normal human being who, through an extraordinary set of circumstances, acquired the powers of every Legion of Superhero member, minus Superboy, from like 1961 or something like that, something in that. And so the reason he has this very unique and, quite frankly, I think awesome look to him is because he uses the power of Chameleon Boy to give him that appearance. And I believe he went with the green color because it's representational of Brainiac 5, which is another character that he has the powers of. He doesn't have the powers of Batman, because Batman doesn't have any powers. The reason he looks like this is simply to mock Batman and Superman. So I'm going to show you kind of a demonstration of how much I do enjoy this character. If he will stand. There you go. So I have about 10 comics that are hanging on the wall in my office, and this is one of them, which is an original first appearance of the Composite Superman from World's Finest. And there you can see his appearance. And it talks about how he's got the powers of Invisible Kid, Lightning Lad, Chameleon Boy, a one-man legion. And yes, he is a completely overpowered character. I also have the Funko Pop version of him, which is pretty cool given the fact that it's a pretty obscure character. This was, I guess, released in the San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Again, limited to 1,500 made. And one more thing I will show is the back of the box. I'm not going to show the front because it's reflective and I don't feel like having a mirror on me. But you can see the different poses. Not really that they didn't really show much in the sense of poses, but that's okay. So, as to the figure, it's fine. It certainly doesn't feel like a $12 figure, but it certainly doesn't feel like a $95 figure. Does it feel like a $48 figure? I don't know. I don't know what the original price is. I mean, Beast Kingdom is sort of a middle tier figure maker company. Probably a little bit below Mafex, maybe. The shoulder joints will pop out a little bit for greater range of motion, and then they're all kind of floppy when they're popped out, so I keep them in. The legs are, the joints are just not, they're not very solid. So, that's one of the things where it can kind of show a less of a high quality is when the joints, the articulation, the range of motion is perfectly fine. It's got double hinged joints. It will stand on its own. I feel like the hands are a bit small. So I think the overall sculpt is fine, but I don't think it's great. I think the facial sculpt is really neat. It looks like the comic book version. It's intended to look basically like Superman with a bat cowl on half the face, and then green, of course. And then we have the split cape in the back. No Superman emblem back here. And it's got some wire in the cape, which, I don't know, doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, I guess you could, I don't know, make it look like that, like it's blowing or something. I think overall, it's the paint is nice on it. I think it's a fine figure. It's just not a fantastic figure, and I am a little embarrassed by the amount I paid for it. Even the boots here, you could see one boot is Batman's type boot, and one boot is Superman's type boot. I feel like the belt is not perfectly straight on here, so I would prefer joints that are a little bit firmer, a little bit stiffer. These are not the stiffest. It will hold a position, but it's not the greatest. So I really wish I'd have checked the prices elsewhere. We have another face, which might be the face I go with. So there's an angry face, and then we have this. Well, let's start with this. So with this, so you could replace his hand. I don't know why this tip is kind of bent on it. Maybe I could heat it up and, well, I guess it's kind of straightened out. No, it's going back. You could replace it and give it the impression that he's shooting lightning out of his one hand, which is sort of evocative of the comic book cover where he's shooting lightning out. Now, he does show he's got the Superman logo back there, so I don't know. I feel like they kind of messed that up. I feel like his should have that Superman logo, but it doesn't. Yeah, you could see it takes it should stand easier than this, but because the joints are a little bit loose. He's got a second hand, so, and I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Some kind of energy. I don't know if it's supposed to be like Element Lads or Cosmic Boys. There's really nothing, there's no instructions in this. So, I mean, I don't know that you necessarily need, but it doesn't really say what this, it may be in the product. I could look up, maybe it does show the product description, what that is supposed to represent. But I give it like I give it a B, but, you know, it really hurts that I paid so much for it. So if you really want the figure, go out on Amazon or look around and see. I mean, you know, maybe there's better prices than Amazon. There's probably a third-party seller on Amazon selling it. So it might have, who knows, may have gone for $35 when it first was released in San Diego. I don't know. I like the character, but it's a fine figure, just not great. I think the highlight for me is probably the facial sculpt, which I think is darn near perfect. And that's where it kind of shows its quality as opposed to some of the other more inexpensive figure makers, which often don't create the very finest facial sculpts. So anyway, that is the Composite Superman from Beast Kingdom.